Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's video. We're doing the European Outlook today because it's Monday on GazWeatherBiz.com, and that means only one thing. Yes, it is Europe Day every Monday at GazWeatherBiz.com. We do the European Outlook, have a look at weather for the coming week across the European continent, and today is going to be no different. Now, for a go on period, I just want to talk about the advertising. There'll usually be a video ad underneath my video player here at GazWeatherBiz.com. Please pay us the ad, you'll be supporting GazWeatherBiz.com by doing that. Also want to mention the website I'm using to get the charts. It's weathercentral.de, a wonderful German site. You can find it on my links page. So this is the situation today. We've got high pressure over the north of Europe through Scandinavia, stretching out to the north of Scotland up towards Iceland and Greenland. Very cold air coming around that high pressure from the Arctic, flooding down through central and eastern parts of Europe, and then these easterly winds carrying that out towards the west. Now in the south, that's where the jet stream's running through, so it's much more unsettled through southern parts of Europe, but it is a good deal milder. And we've got areas of low pressure in the Mediterranean, indicating that there's going to be showers and heavy rain and thunderstorms through many southern parts of Europe. But as I say, that's where the mild air is, with the jet stream running through the Med. We've got upper air temperatures there, much milder, but further north into northern France, then into Britain, Ireland, and then into central parts of Europe and up to Scandinavia and Russia. It's bitterly cold, with those easterly winds bringing that very cold air out of Russia. The dew points reflecting the humidity in the atmosphere show that much of the continent is still locked in the freezer today, bitterly cold across the vast portion of the continental landmass and out into Britain and Ireland as well. Once we get down to France, that's where the dividing line is, cold in the north and the east of France, but further south it's a good deal warmer, and then that warmth does extend through Mediterranean. That's where the spring temperatures are going to be, but much more unsettled through those central parts of Europe, southern parts of Europe I should say. Very heavy rain and thunderstorms around to Spain and Portugal. Could be some flooding actually across Portugal today, and then through Corsica, Sardinia, eastwards in towards Italy and down into the south of Europe through the Adriatic into the Balkans and down into Greece. We've got a lot of heavy rain and thunderstorms going on down there. It's much drier up to the north with that bitterly cold air, but we have got some snow around, some snow flurries in some central parts of Germany, and some snow showers coming into the north and the east of the British Isles as well. Temperatures, north-south split, it's much milder through the Mediterranean. You can't see it, but there is some of the Mediterranean temperatures showing those temperatures into the mid to upper teens. So that's where spring warmth is in the south of the continent now. But for many parts of Europe, it's bitterly cold, temperatures staying around freezing all day from Germany eastwards into the east and the northeast of Europe, and just into Britain and Ireland, we're just at 2-3 degrees with quite a lot of snow on the ground. France, the dividing line actually, but the north and the east of France quite cold, but down in the south we have got some milder temperatures there. Now, as we run through to the middle of the week, we're still in that easterly flow across the north and central parts of Europe and into the northwest as well. So we've still got the bitterly cold air coming around that high pressure, and we've still got the jet stream running through the Mediterranean, taking very unsettled weather but milder weather through there. So the north-south split goes on through into the middle part of the week, milder upper air temperatures through the bulk of the Mediterranean, much colder up to the north. Dew points again reflecting that split, with very cold dew points across many central, northern and western and northwestern and northeastern parts of Europe, really the north of Europe, very cold, whereas through the Mediterranean the dew points are much milder. Mainly dry across the central parts of Europe again through the middle of the week, but bitterly cold. Some snow flurries around, some snow in towards parts of Poland and Austria perhaps, and down in towards Hungary as well. And then once we get down to the southeast, we've got heavy rain and thunderstorms through much of Greece, stretching out into Turkey as well. Heavy rain and thunderstorms through Italy, Corsica, Sardinia, through the south of France, down into Spain, and Portugal still very unsettled with lots of heavy showers and thunderstorms in some places. But in the drier weather further north, that's where it is still very cold. So the temperatures again reflecting this north-south split. Many northern parts of Europe seeing temperatures struggling to get above freezing around Germany into Poland, further to the east and the northeast of Europe as well, and out to the northwest those temperatures really are very low for the end of March, just 3, 4, 5 degrees for much of Britain, the Low Countries, Denmark too. Spain, should say Scandinavia, also struggling to get above freezing. Now once we get down towards Spain and the south of France, temperatures much milder there. That's where the spring warmth is. is, and again going on through the Mediterranean, we do have those temperatures in the mid and upper teens despite the heavy rain. As we move through towards the end of the week and into the Easter weekend, we're going to find a low pressure in the Atlantic trying to attack and bring milder air in. Again, it's coming up against that cold air sitting over Scandinavia and northwestern Europe. I think it's going to stall again, and we're going to see perhaps more snow across parts of the British Isles, northern France, maybe as well some heavy snow at the end of the week and into the Easter weekend. Still very unsettled into the Mediterranean. If anything, we're starting to push that milder, more unsettled weather northwards and eastwards, though, into the southeastern parts of Europe. If you have a look at the upper air temperatures, we can see that the warmth is beginning to extend northwards. As this low pressure tries to come in and brings that warmth in off the Atlantic, it is pushing further north into these central areas, but the north and the northwest remains firmly locked in to that very bitterly cold weather. So for Scandinavia, down into Denmark, through into Britain, it does look as though it's remaining cold, but the spring warmth is trying to push northwards, but it doesn't look like it's going to manage to get into Britain and Scandinavia, at least over the Easter weekend. Dew points showing that we get a rising dew points through the central parts of Europe as that southerly wind begins to pull out of the Mediterranean. Very mild looking through the Mediterranean, but bitterly cold still across Scandinavia and Denmark and down into Britain, Northern Ireland as well. Precipitation, a lot of precipitation here over France, a lot of heavy rain in the south of France, possibility of some snow to the north of France, possibility of snow coming through southern parts of England as well. I'm afraid on Good Friday, more heavy snow for southern England and South Wales. Chance of heavy rain or snow for Ireland as well. Really wet down across Spain and Portugal, very wet with the risk of more flooding down there, also into the south of France, and showers, longer spells of rain or thunderstorms through much of the Mediterranean going into the southeast of Europe as well. Temperatures, well, we're beginning to push out milder air into the central areas, so Germany is beginning to see those temperatures lift up, France beginning to lift up as well, although the north of France will still be very close to that cold weather. Once we get through to Britain, I'm bitterly cold, and that extends into Denmark and up into Scandinavia as well, but the Mediterranean, south of France, that's where the spring warmth is going to be, with temperatures perhaps as high as 20 degrees across the south of France, despite the heavy rain and thunderstorms. That's close to the 70 Fahrenheit mark. So spring is trying to get going in the south of Europe. It's trying to push northwards, but it's coming up against that wedge of cold air, and certainly for Scandinavia and for Britain and Ireland, it looks as though that cold weather will remain firmly established through the Easter weekend. That's it for now. Thanks for listening.